Hey Astros fans, welcome to today's edition of Extra Innings, the Astros Fans UK next day recap on Astros ball games. Game 155, Astros 4, Mariners 6. Let's get straight into the major talking points from a brutal, damaging defeat to lose the series inside 2 games, and also lose the season series with 3 up, 3 down. 3 up, leading off Jeremy Peña. The biggest moment of the game for us was beyond any shadow of a doubt. Peña's clutch, gutty grand slam into the Crawford boxes in the 7th, which instantly picked us up off the floor and turned a potentially heavy defeat into a game we were right back in the thick of again. JP3 was the only bat of ours who truly embraced the moment, with that slam our only hit in the game with runners in scoring position. Peña also picked up another hit and drew a superb walk in the bottom of the 9th to incredibly set up a chance for us to actually walk off this game. Alas, it wasn't to be, and alas, no one else in our lineup was driven to fight and battle at all costs like Peña was. Up second, Stephen Okert. With the deficit reduced to 4-6, Okert was brought in to hold things right where they were, which he did with a 1-2-3-8 to give our bats a shot at a late revival. It was an impressive bounce back for Okert after a tricky outing or two. Up third, Brian Abreu. Whilst it was slightly surprising that Abreu was brought in to pitch in the 9th inning with us down 4-6, the outcome of the 9th was no surprise at all, with Abreu also pitching a solid 1-2-3 inning. 3 down, first out, Framber Valdez. It was another horribly rough night for Framber as the Viper struggled over 4 2/3 innings once more. Framber could never really get any proper rhythm going on the mound yet again and was responsible for 5 earned runs, given up on 6 hits plus allowing 4 walks, leaving the game in the 5th having just walked in a run with the bases loaded to make it nothing to 4. On arguably the biggest night of our season with so much on the line, unfortunately Framber shriveled and disintegrated in a moment. There's a possibility that this was the final time Framber Valdez will ever pitch for the Astros at Dykin Park. Hopefully not, but this would be a dreadful way to end it if so. Second out, fatal wrist failures. Framber wasn't alone though in fluffing his lines when everything was on the line, as our bats, not including Peña, wasted multiple gigantic chances to actually turn this game around completely. After having been totally handcuffed by George Kirby on the mound for the Mariners for 5 innings, and nothing to 5 down in the 6th inning, we worked to create a situation with runners on the corners and no outs, only for Carlos Correa to strike out, Isaac Paredes to do the same, and Jose Altuve to ground out to second, scoring none. Then in the bottom of the 8th at 4-6 down, we had runners at second and third with 1 out, only for Yainer Diaz to strike out, before a terrible 3-pitch pinch hit swinging strikeout of Christian Walker to waste another huge chance. And finally, in the bottom of the 9th, when we had 2 on and 1 out, the winning run actually at the plate, only for a sinking drive by Carlos Correa to be caught incredibly, and the game then ending moments later on a terrible piece of coaching at third base. We went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position and it killed us. Third out, Tony Perez-Chica. Not for the first time this season, Perez-Chica was the centre of attention after the game for a terrible and costly decision. This time it was on that final play as Perez-Chica utterly inexplicably sent Jake Myers to home when rounding third. Myers may not have made it back to second in time after the incredible catch by Robles, but you have to send him back, and who knows, if he makes it then we get 1 more at-bat to try and rescue the game. Perez-Chica has had an awful season, and moments like this make you wonder if the players even trust his judgment either. A couple of extra points to finish on. Flat and fading. We really haven't shown the best of us in this series so far, having been outplayed and outworked in pretty much every department. How is that possible at this point in the season? And calling Alexander the Great. Ostensibly with our remaining chances of winning the division on the line, we call out to Jason Alexander once again to save us. It's pretty much as much of a must-win game as possible that a non-elimination game can be, but don't give up the faith. With the loss, we dropped to 84 and 71 and now fall 2 games behind the Mariners in the AL West with just 7 to play. That's it for today's Extra Innings. The next day recap. Let me know your takes on the loss in the comments. Make sure you're following at AstrosFansUK on all platforms, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the next edition of Extra Innings. Go Stros!